Dangerous, very dangerous, because if Anthony Joshua hits him on the chin, he will put him to sleep.
Utter madness that he would run the risk of absolutely jeopardizing his life, because he's not a big heavyweight. He's a small heavyweight. He's 5 inches smaller than Joshua.
Real fight, it should be over in 90 seconds because Anthony Joshua is a legit gold medalist, big, heavy, super heavyweight, crazy athlete, awesome power. And Jake Paul just isn't on that level in any way. And he's not he's undersized.
Through one asterisk, many boxing experts warn that Jake Paul is entering a very dangerous situation by fighting Anthony Joshua. They say Joshua's knockout power is on a completely different level, and Jake has never faced anything close to it. Analysts believe this fight pushes safety limits and could end very badly for Jake if Joshua lands clean. Gareth A. Davies also warns that the huge weight difference makes this matchup unsafe for a full professional fight.
There is a danger in this fight. The odds are Joshua's 1-12. Obviously, Jake Paul is 6-1. Yeah. To win this fight in a 2-horse race, in which this is a guy who lost to Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury's brother, in an 8-round fight, who, for me, I wrote that it would damage his legacy a week ago. It will damage his legacy for several reasons. If the Deontay Wilder fight never emerges, which it looks like it isn't, I've been calling for that fight for ages. If those two got in a ring together, it's still a massive fight. It's a dangerous fight to sanction, in my view. It sets the wrong precedent. It is 10-ounce gloves. It is a boxing match. It's not an exhibition. This isn't a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. This is one of the most dangerous finishers in the world, who is probably 5 levels above Jake Paul and a weight division above him. I think it's irresponsible to let those two in a ring together in a proper boxing match. That's my view. It doesn't damage his bank balance, but if he earns...
McGuigan strongly criticizes the idea of Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua. He says most experienced boxers are worried because they know what heavyweight power feels like. McGuigan explains that Jake is not entering entertainment anymore. This is real danger. Joshua's knockout power has already been proven against fighters bigger and more skilled than Jake. He reminds people that Jake is basically still a light heavyweight and has never faced someone with Joshua's size, strength, and reach. Asterisk inter 003 asterisk.
You know, AJ's grabbing the bag. There's nothing wrong with that, because anybody else, if they got offered that kind of money, they would do it. So, yeah. And some people are suggesting it might damage his legacy. Where do you sit with the decision of him taking that fight? And it's a professional 8-round fight as well.
Yes, it's a highly dangerous fight for Jake Paul. I don't know what he's doing, unless they have done some sort of caveat or some sort of agreement that he says he's going to go easy on him, or he's not going to go flat out. But you know, I've been tossing this up and down in my mind and trying to figure how, and under God, when he had agreed to fight someone like Tank Davis, who is, you know, several divisions below him. That's more like what Jake Paul does. And then he goes from there to fighting Anthony Joshua. I mean, just look at what happened to Francis Ngannou, who's a big, athletic, tough guy and had gone 12 rounds with Tyson Fury and given him a real ding-dong. And then he gets absolutely obliterated in a round and a half against Joshua. That shows you, despite the fact that he's been knocked out since by Daniel Dubois, who could knock out anybody, by the way, in any weight division or in any era of the heavyweight division. He's such a powerful guy. He could knock anybody out if he hits them properly. But you know, it just seems utter madness.
According to McGuigan, Jake is not stepping into a competitive fight. He is stepping toward a fighter designed to destroy world-class heavyweights. The size difference is only one part of the issue. Joshua's timing, punch accuracy, and ability to generate huge power in short punches, uppercuts, counters, and jabs are things Jake has never trained against. McGuigan is frustrated because many people treat the fight like a joke, ignoring how dangerous a real heavyweight can be. For him, this is not hype, it's basic human safety.
Of some kind where he says, I won't go hard on him, or I'll go easy, or I'll spar with him for 8 rounds, because it's just so ridiculous. I mean, if Joshua hits him properly, he'll knock him unconscious. And if he knocks him unconscious and he gets a bleed in his brain and he ends up with a subdural hematoma and goes to hospital and is in dire straits, where does that leave boxing? That puts us in a very, very awkward spot. So it's hard not to believe that they've got some sort of caveat, some sort of agreement whereby, I mean, most heavyweights box with 10-ounce gloves.
Dave Allen looks at the fight from a more analytical angle. He says Jake Paul has built his boxing record through safe matchups, where both fighters were protected. Jake fought older fighters, smaller fighters, or people who were not real heavyweights. But Allen warns that this situation is completely different. Anthony Joshua is not a celebrity opponent, he is an active heavyweight champion with real knockout power. Allen explains that if Joshua fights Jake with even half the intensity he uses against professionals, the result will not look anything like Jake's past fights. The danger is not just a simple knockout, it's the force of a true heavyweight punch, landing on someone who has never taken that kind of damage. Allen also mentions that sparring with heavyweights does not prepare someone for real fight pressure, where punches come full force and with no hesitation.
Could he win the area light heavyweight title? I'm not sure. Don't know who the champion is. If I had a look, I could tell you, I'm not sure. He then boxes Nate Diaz. So he's boxed 1 boxer so far, if we keep him count, and he's beat none. Then he boxes Andre August, who I believe was a pro, and this is now at 14-3, so he's now actually a cruiserweight. Andre August, I'm not sure. Ryan Borland, 17-2. Again, I'm not sure. But fair play, he's beat 2 boxers here. Beat 2 boxers, what can I say? He then fights Mike Perry, who is never a very fighter, bare knuckle boxer. He's not a glove boxer. He then fights Mike Tyson, which was an exhibition, weren't it really, for all intents and purposes. Now the big jump here is in 4 months, he's put on 2 stone. So he's put on 2 stone in 4 months. He then boxed Julio Cesar Chavez and he's now lost 2 stone. He's back down to 14-3. And he beat Chavez, who is a boxer, but has been shot to bits for the last 10 years. So, as far as Jake Paul goes, I don't mind Jake Paul. I don't really know what he does or what he is and what he's achieved in boxing. I would say fair play. I'd say, you know what, mate? Why not? I don't blame him. And the money he's made, amazing. Buzzing. If people want to watch him box, great. So he started off boxing, I think a YouTuber or 2. Basketball player maybe, was he? Some MMA fighters. And he weren't Ngannou, weren't Cyril Gane, weren't Big Madu can box. He was boxing welterweights, middleweights, max, way past the best. But that's also fine because it's an entertainment game and it's okay. That's fine. Loses to Tommy, fights a few pro boxers, then fights Mike Tyson, which was a professional contest, but for all intents and purposes, a bit of an exhibition because, to be fair to Jake Paul, he could have flattened Mike Tyson at any time. People say Mike Tyson held him up, he held back.
The danger is not only for Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua is also taking a big risk. If Joshua wins but does not dominate completely, people may doubt him. For a fighter at Joshua's level, winning isn't enough, he must win impressively. If Jake lands even 1 good punch, critics might say Joshua is losing his touch. They explain that if the fight becomes messy or looks competitive for even a few moments, Joshua could face embarrassment and online criticism. A single lucky punch from Jake could create viral headlines that damage Joshua's reputation. This is why experts say the fight is high risk for both sides. Jake risks his health, and Joshua risks his career reputation.